Success is often perceived as a destination, a point in life where one accumulates wealth, achieves recognition, or secures a high-status position. My name is MUNIBA MAZARI and I am a motivational speaker. Please subscribe my channel and like this video. Start a new journey with me. However, real success is far deeper than material accomplishments. It is about discovering one's true purpose and using that purpose to bring positive change to the world. Finding purpose is what gives life meaning, and without it, even the most celebrated achievements can feel empty. Many people chase conventional markers of success, believing that financial prosperity or social validation will bring them fulfillment. They work tirelessly, pushing themselves beyond their limits, only to find that even after achieving their goals, an internal void remains unfulfilled. This happens because true success is not about external achievement. It is about internal contentment and the impact we create in the lives of others. Purpose is not something that is handed to us. It is something we must discover within ourselves. The journey to finding one's purpose often begins with introspection, asking ourselves what truly drives us, what makes us feel alive, and what we would do even if there were no external rewards. It requires deep self-awareness and an understanding that purpose is not tied to a single achievement, but rather to a continuous process of growth and contribution. One of the most inspiring aspects of real success is how it often emerges from struggles. Many people who have found their true purpose did so through the pain and challenges they faced. They transformed their hardships into stepping stones, using their experiences to inspire, guide, and help others. Their pain became their power, and their struggles became their source of strength. Take the example of individuals who have faced immense adversity. Those who have suffered loss, disability, or failures, yet have emerged stronger and more purpose-driven. Their success lies not in the obstacles they overcame, but in how they use their experiences to create meaningful change. They found purpose in their pain and turned their challenges into opportunities to uplift others. Real success is also deeply connected to passion. When we align our actions with our passions, we create work that is fulfilling, meaningful, and impactful. Passion fuels perseverance, and perseverance is essential in the pursuit of purpose. It gives us the strength to continue, even when the journey becomes difficult. Moreover, real success is not a solitary achievement. It is about the lives we touch and the hearts we inspire. A successful person is not someone who stands at the top alone, but someone who lifts others along the way. When we contribute to the well-being of others, we create a legacy that extends beyond our lifetime. Success becomes a ripple effect, spreading positivity and change in ways we may never fully realize. Many people fear that if they do not conform to societal expectations, they will not be successful. Society often dictates a fixed definition of success, pushing people toward paths that may not align with their true calling. However, real success is about authenticity, staying true to oneself and following the path that resonates with one's soul. It is about having the courage to break away from societal pressures and create a life that is meaningful on one's own terms. Finding purpose requires patience, as it is not something that happens overnight. It involves trial and error, moments of doubt, and times when one may feel lost. However, every experience, whether good or bad, contributes to the journey of discovering one's true calling. The key is to remain open to growth, to embrace change, and to trust that every step is leading towards something greater. Real success is also about resilience, the ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks. Many people give up when they face obstacles, believing that failure is a sign that they are on the wrong path. However, failure is often a sign that one is getting closer to their true purpose. It is through challenges that we learn, evolve, and refine our understanding of what truly matters. When one discovers their true purpose, life takes on a new meaning. Work no longer feels like a burden, but rather a form of self-expression. Challenges become opportunities to grow, and every success, no matter how small, feels fulfilling. The journey becomes just as rewarding as the destination, and the focus shifts from merely achieving goals to making a difference. In the end, real success is not about how much one acquires, but about how much one gives. It is about using one's gifts talents, and experiences to create a positive impact. It is about inspiring others to find their own paths and helping them believe in their potential. When one finds their true purpose and lives a life of meaning, they achieve a form of success that is beyond measure. Failure is often seen as the opposite of success, but in reality, it is an essential part of the journey toward true achievement. Many people fear failure, viewing it as a sign of weakness or incompetence. However, those who have truly succeeded in life understand that failure is not something to be avoided, it is something to be embraced. Every setback, mistake, and disappointment holds within it a lesson that brings us one step closer to our goals. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it is a smooth, linear path. People often look at highly accomplished individuals and assume they reached their position effortlessly. What they fail to see is the countless times these individuals failed, fell, and had to start over. Behind every success story is a series of struggles, obstacles, and moments of doubt. It is in these moments that resilience is built, and resilience is the key to long-term success. Failure teaches valuable lessons that no amount of success ever could. When we fail, we are forced to reflect, reassess, and improve. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and forces us to grow. If we never failed, we would never be challenged to become better versions of ourselves. Every great innovator, leader, and trailblazer has faced failure at some point in their journey, but they refused to let it define them. Instead, they used it as a stepping stone to move forward. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, one of the most famous inventors in history. He failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he famously responded, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perspective is a perfect example of how failure should be viewed, not as an endpoint, but as a necessary part of the process. Each failure brought him closer to success, and without them, he may never have made the discovery that changed the world. Similarly, J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, faced numerous rejections before finally getting her book published. She was a struggling single mother who was told multiple times that her story would never sell. Had she given up after the first rejection, millions of people around the world would have never experienced the magic of her books. Her perseverance despite failure is what ultimately led to her success. Failure is not only an opportunity for learning, but also a test of determination. Many people give up at the first sign of difficulty because they lack the patience and resilience to keep going. However, those who succeed understand that setbacks are temporary and that persistence is what separates winners from those who quit. The ability to rise after falling is what builds true strength and character. Another important aspect of failure is that it builds humility. Success without failure can lead to arrogance, but those who have experienced failure firsthand develop a deeper appreciation for their achievements. They understand the effort and struggle required to succeed, making them more compassionate and empathetic toward others who are on similar journeys. Failure also helps us discover new paths and opportunities that we may have never considered before. Sometimes, when we fail at something we initially set out to do, it redirects us to something even better. Many successful people have shared stories of how their biggest failures turned out to be blessings in disguise. What seemed like a devastating setback at the time eventually led them to something greater. For example, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was once fired from his own company. At the time, it was seen as a major failure. But in hindsight, Jobs considered it one of the best things that ever happened to him. It allowed him to explore new ideas, gain fresh perspectives, and eventually return to Apple with a renewed vision. That failure was a crucial step in his journey to transforming Apple into one of the most successful companies in the world. Failure also strengthens emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. The more we experience failure, the better we become at handling difficult situations. We learn to adapt, to remain calm in the face of adversity, and to approach problems with a problem-solving mindset rather than a defeatist attitude. The ability to navigate setbacks with confidence is a skill that will serve us not only in our careers, but in all aspects of life. Many people fear failure because they are afraid of judgment from others. Society often glorifies success while shamming failure, making people hesitant to take risks. However, the reality is that those who judge others for failing are often the ones who never dared to try in the first place. True achievers understand that failure is simply a sign that one is pushing boundaries and striving for something greater. They do not let the fear of what others think stop them from pursuing their dreams. Failure also helps build creativity and innovation. When something doesn't work out as planned, it forces us to think outside the box and come up with new solutions. Some of the greatest inventions and discoveries in history were the result of failures that led to unexpected breakthroughs. Failure pushes us to experiment, to question conventional methods, and to explore new possibilities that we may have never considered otherwise. It is important to develop a mindset that views failure not as a negative experience, but as a powerful teacher. The more we embrace failure, the less intimidating it becomes. Instead of seeing failure as something to be ashamed of, we should celebrate it as proof that we are trying, learning, and growing. Every successful person has failed at some point, and the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they choose to respond to failure. Some let it break them, while others use it as motivation to keep moving forward. The key is to never stop believing in oneself, even when things don't go as planned. Failure is not the end, it is a stepping stone towards something greater. Happiness is often associated with external achievements, wealth, success, fame, or social recognition. People chase these things believing that once they reach a certain milestone, they will finally be happy. However, true success is not found in external accomplishments. It lies in gratitude and self-acceptance. The ability to appreciate what one has and embrace oneself fully, flaws and all, is the key to genuine fulfillment. Many people spend their lives comparing themselves to others, believing that happiness comes from being better, richer, or more successful than someone else. This mindset creates a cycle of dissatisfaction, as there will always be someone who appears to have more. Instead of finding joy in their own journey, people get caught in a never-ending race toward an illusion of success. The truth is, real happiness does not come from comparison or competition. It comes from inner peace and gratitude for what already exists in one's life. Gratitude is a powerful tool that transforms one's perspective. When people focus on what they lack, they feel empty and unfulfilled. However, when they take the time to appreciate what they have, no matter how small, it shifts their entire outlook. Gratitude allows people to recognize the blessings in their lives, from the simplest things like a beautiful sunrise to the love and support of family and friends. The more one acknowledges these blessings, the more content and fulfilled they feel. Research has shown that practicing gratitude has a direct impact on mental and emotional well-being. People who regularly express gratitude experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is missing to what is present, creating a sense of abundance rather than lack. This mindset does not mean ignoring challenges or hardships, but rather choosing to see the good even in difficult times. Many people believe that happiness is something they will achieve once they reach a certain point in life. They say, "I will be happy when I get my dream job," or "I will be happy when I have more money," or "I will be happy when I find the perfect partner." This conditional approach to happiness is a trap because it always places happiness in the future rather than the present. The problem with this mindset is that once a person reaches their goal, they often set new conditions for happiness, never truly allowing themselves to feel fulfilled. The key to breaking this cycle is to realize that happiness is not something to be chased. It is something to be cultivated within. It is about appreciating the present moment, finding joy in the journey rather than just the destination. When people learn to be grateful for what they have right now, they unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. Self-acceptance is another crucial component of true success. Many people struggle with self-doubt, constantly criticizing themselves for not being good enough, smart enough, or successful enough. Society often sets unrealistic standards of beauty, intelligence, and achievement, making it easy to feel inadequate. However, real confidence and success come from embracing who you are, imperfections and all. Self-acceptance does not mean settling for less or not striving for improvement. It means acknowledging that one's worth is not defined by achievements, appearance, or external validation. It means understanding that every individual is unique and has their own strengths and weaknesses. When people accept themselves fully, they stop seeking approval from others and start living authentically. One of the greatest obstacles to self-acceptance is fear of judgment. Many people hold themselves back because they worry about what others will think. They hesitate to pursue their dreams, express their true selves, or take risks because they fear criticism or rejection. However, the truth is that no matter what one does, there will always be people who have opinions. The only way to truly succeed is to stop living for others and start living for oneself. Learning to embrace imperfections is a powerful step towards self-acceptance. Nobody is perfect, and that is what makes each person unique. The most successful people in the world are not those who never made mistakes, but those who learned from their mistakes and continued moving forward. Accepting one's flaws and failures as part of the journey allows for growth and resilience. Another important aspect of self-acceptance is letting go of the need for external validation. Many people tie their self-worth to the opinions of others, constantly seeking praise and approval. However, true confidence comes from within. When people validate themselves, when they believe in their own worth without needing external confirmation, they become unshakable. They no longer feel the need to prove themselves to anyone because they know their value. Happiness and self-acceptance are deeply connected. When people accept themselves, they free themselves from the pressure of constantly trying to meet unrealistic expectations. They stop comparing themselves to others and start appreciating their own unique journey. They understand that they are enough just as they are, and that realization brings a profound sense of peace. Practicing gratitude and self-acceptance also helps people navigate difficult times. Life is not always easy and challenges are inevitable. However, a grateful heart finds strength even in adversity. When faced with hardships, those who practice gratitude focus on what they still have rather than what they have lost. This resilience allows them to overcome obstacles with a positive mindset. Self-acceptance also makes relationships stronger. When people are comfortable with who they are, they attract healthier and more genuine connection. They no longer seek validation from others, but instead build relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity. People who love and accept themselves are also more capable of loving and accepting others, creating deeper and more meaningful bonds. Many successful people have discovered that real success is not about how much they acquire, but about how fulfilled they feel. Some of the richest and most famous individuals in the world have spoken openly about feeling empty despite their achievements. On the other hand, some of the happiest people are those who have very little in terms of material wealth, but have an abundance of love, gratitude, and self-acceptance. At the core of true success is the ability to find joy in everyday moments. It is in the simple things: a heartfelt conversation, a moment of laughter, a quiet walk in nature. These moments, when truly appreciated, bring more happiness than any material possession ever could. The ability to recognize and cherish these small joys is what leads to a truly successful life. In the pursuit of happiness, people often overlook what they already have. They spend so much time wishing for more that they fail to see the blessings in front of them. But when they shift their focus, when they start each day with gratitude, and when they accept themselves fully, they experience a transformation. They realize that real success is not about having more. It is about appreciating what is already there. True success is not measured by wealth, status, or achievements. It is found in the ability to appreciate life, embrace oneself, and find joy in the present moment. When we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what is missing to what is abundant. When we accept ourselves, we free ourselves from the pressure of external validation. Real success is not about reaching a destination. It is about living with purpose, contentment, and authenticity. The happiest and most fulfilled people are not those who have the most, but those who cherish what they already have. That is the essence of true success.